The 2015 Terracross Championships are here. On the women's side, former motocross superstar Sarah Price has dominated all season long with 5 consecutive wins. Tonight, Sarah could make Terracross history, becoming the first racer to go undefeated. For the men, it's a points battle between Terracross Top Gun RJ Anderson and last year's overall champion Jason Luberg. With the title up in the air, it all comes down to this. The finale of 2015 Terracross starts now. Welcome to the 2015 Camp Razer Terracross Championships. The final race will be held right now in Glamis, California. Positively picturesque southeastern part of the state. Kevin Barnett and Jim Beaver proud to bring you the 2015 Terracross Championship. Polaris' Camp Razer, a highlight of the weekend. The fans are on hand looking forward to some tremendous racing action. All year it has been Jason Luberg once again. Jim on top, consistent, and finally breaking through with a victory in race 5.
Yeah, huge for Jason Luberg. Back up against the wall in this points battle. Comes through with a victory. He's got to be feeling pretty darn good heading into this final round.
Luberg was good in heydays, but went second in both races. Coming into this, you knew he felt like he had a win in him. And there were the checkers. Luberg, first career victory, standing atop the podium. Somebody who wants to see it go a little differently, perhaps, in race 6 is RJ Anderson. Formerly Checkers of Records, he's picked up some consistency himself.
Yeah, RJ been super consistent in 2015. Change of pace from what we saw in 2014. RJ definitely a threat to take on this championship.
Luberg, Anderson, Thomas have separated themselves fairly well. Raiders with a chance there at 129, but realistically, Anderson and Luberg have to be the championship contenders here.
Yeah, I definitely think it's going to be a shootout between Luberg and Anderson, but anything can happen in Terracross.
Under the lights for the first time in Glamis, how about Keystone keys to the track?
When we talked about coming to Glamis at first, we were trying to brainstorm how to build a track, what to do here.
This track is different than the rest because we actually have real straight up sand here. This is as sandy as sand can get.
This track, is awesome. I like it, I really like it, but it's brutal. It's got lines going everywhere. Some of the lines are great at the beginning and then go away halfway through the race, so you're constantly changing, trying to figure out where you should be going and whether it's fast or not.
It's real tight and it's hard to pass, so you want to get a good start and make no mistakes and drive as smooth as you can and just hold your lines. That's the key to this.
Under the lights for the first time, Jim Beaver, this changes everything about the race. What's it doing for the drivers and their psyche?
Coming into this round, first time Terracross has ever run under the lights. And these drivers, it's going to be a change-up for them. I mean, there's a lot of things that happen and you can't see during the dark that you can see during the day. So vision is going to be key.
Racers facing renewed challenges, not only the track itself and the conditions, but how about adding in the dark? Dana Creech trying to come out of the LCQ for the second consecutive time. Let's look at our Optimus start list. Creech, Roland, Merrill up front. Let's check in with Laurette Nickel.
There are multiple challenges to reading this track under the lights. One is the shadows. A driver's only seeing about 70% of the course. And this dust, the lights are reflecting the dust as there's no wind to drag it out. And deep ruts are being formed, and it's like being locked onto railroad tracks. Drivers can't drive as precisely as they're used to.
Thanks, Laurette. These drivers about to face off with this course and the darkness. Men's LCQ, 3 spots up for grabs in our final. Creech up the inside. Will he pull the hole shot? Oh, Johnson gets tangled up with Merrill.
Oh man, not where they wanted to find themselves in the last chance qualifier. Definitely a buzzkill to start the race, but Creech, look at him stretching his legs already on the field.
Creech with a little breathing room already. Mickey Thomas out there. He's gonna try and go around Koscheck. Oh, Koscheck upside down.
Oh man, swing and a miss. Josh Koscheck on the lid.
GoPro on board now with Dana Creech. He's up front. Well, good change of lines there inside as he goes over our finish line. And there's another driver going
Hubert
over.
rolling. Everybody's favorite redneck finds a side as well. Man, carnage in lap 1.
Rubber side down, boys. Look at this coming up. Right-hander and just a little wide for Roland.
Yeah, it looks like he hooked the berm there and enough to put him on his side. A tough break for Hubert.
Back to the front of the field. 52, Dana Creech, followed closely by the 44. That's Mickey Thomas.
Mickey Thomas in this points battle. He definitely needs to make his way into the main event to factor into this championship race.
Good look at Mickey Thomas in the 44. He won Del Mar, race number 1 of the year. He has 2 podiums on the season. He's not afraid to huck it. 4th last year in points.
And here's Dana Creech, course builder, loves huge jumps. This is a guy who spent time in monster trucks, on dirt bikes, loves the big air.
Capturing that big air on his GoPros, GoPro Razer 1000. Creech followed by Thomas.
Looks like we got desert champion there from Jagged X, Brandon Schuler, making his Terracross debut.
Dana Creech looking to take it from the LCQ to the main event for the 2nd race in a row.
Mystic Terracross on CBS Sports Network is being brought to you by Mystic Lubricants, specially formulated for lubrication domination. By Polaris Razer. And by Musco Lighting, delivering light precisely where you need it. Musco, the experts in lighting.
Sand dunes of Glamis, a legendary off-road place. The side of the final round of the 2015 Terracross Championship. You're watching the men's LCQ, Kevin Barnett and Jim Beaver. Hope you're enjoying the racing here. 3 spots up for grabs in our men's final. Right now it's Dana Creech in front of Mickey Thomas up front. These 2 drivers looking pretty secure in their spot in the final. If you're Thomas, how much do you push it for a better selection, a better seating into the final?
You know, I don't think Mickey Thomas right now is pushing it real hard, and honestly, I don't think Dana is either. They've got a huge gap over the rest of the field. Both of them know, you know, it's all about conserving that car, having the best car possible for that main event, and I think they're both kind of playing it easy, playing it cool. Mickey knows that he's in a transfer spot right now. There's no need to push on Dana. Neither one of them can have a great spot in the final, so he's just content there in that 2nd spot.
Brandon Schuler right now holding down 3rd. He would be the final transfer. We're halfway through this men's LCQ. 8 laps for an LCQ. We have the women's final coming up next, followed by the men's final. It'll be a short bit of rest for these drivers in the LCQ.
Yeah, and look at this course. I mean, both these drivers out front taking it easy, but those ruts are getting so massively deep. This main event in the women's final, it's going to be horrible.
Jim, you're a racer. How much is driver fatigue a factor if you go from the LCQ into that 12-lap main event?
You know, Terracross races are long. I mean, there are a lot of laps, but they're not long in time. I mean, they're definitely taxing on a driver. But I think, honestly, it's about the heat. You get a lot of heat in the shocks, a lot of heat in the Razer, and, you know, they don't get a chance to cool down, so your suspension might be a little bit hotter going into the main event. The other guys that automatically transferred in, their suspension's nice and cool. They can hit things a little bit harder than the guys transferring from the LCQ.
Maybe the cool night will help the drivers in the LCQ who go to the main event and come up in the last row. Creech came all the way from the last row in race 5 to go into 3rd place. Can he do it again? He's got to finish the LCQ first. Thomas behind.
There's Brandon Schuler. I got to tell you, his first weekend of racing Terracross, he's got to be pretty excited sitting there in 3rd with a chance to transfer into the main event.
Schuler with a decent lead. Merrill's recovered from that tough start. He could have a shot at it.
Yeah, Merrill comes from a short course background. He knows how to make up time on a shorter track like this. Had a lot of victories running short course, so if anybody can make up that time on Schuler, it's definitely Merrill.
Schuler in that HMK Jagged X ride, trying to take it to the main event.
Coming into this Mystic Mangler section, I don't care if you're a short course driver, a desert driver, nobody's seen anything like this.
I think the nastiest Mangler of the year was in Del Mar. That first one was brutal. You drove that one, Jim.
Yeah, you know, that first Mangler was just absolutely crazy. And there's this iconic shot with the girls, with I think it was Danielle Weatherly and Shelby Anderson, where they got tangled up and just both of them rolled over. But these Manglers, they've been different at each venue, and drivers just don't know what to expect when we come into one of these races. Each one of them has been something different.
And the courses have been a little bit different. This one is a bit more wide open, especially Del Mar felt tight. What changes in driving style can you implement when you have this much space?
Well, I think we've seen, you know, the drivers that can kind of cater their style to just about anything are the ones that have been successful. Obviously, Luberg is one of those guys. We've seen R.J. Anderson as one of those guys. But you're right. I mean, Del Mar, we were running in an arena and then a little bit outside and jumping into the arena. Heydays, everything was nice and tight. Here at Glamis, it's sand and wide open. You know, nobody excels at any one track, you know, just because it takes a lot of different elements to be successful in Terracross.
These factory Polaris Razer 1000s, these are the same machines, stock. You can go buy one, just like the ones you're watching on track right now, trying to soak up everything this track has to offer. And even though you're watching the cars, also watch the track. Watch the changes. Look what they're dealing with as you see them wrap through that left-hander.
Yeah, and it looks like Merrill taking a little bit different line than Schuler. He's trying to make up time anywhere he can. And, you know, if anybody can do it, it's him. But, you know, we're on the final lap. Let's see if he can make it happen.
Breach, half a lap away from going to the main event out of the LCQ for the second consecutive race. Thomas right behind. He looks to be secure.
Yeah, it looks like both Mickey Thomas and Dana Creech phoning it in as they head into these Walker Evans whoops. Mickey Thomas still in that title hunt, needs to make this main event.
Every point matters in the final standings. Mickey Thomas trying to improve on his fourth last season.
Look at Merrill making up time as he got something in the tank for Schuler with a couple of corners left.
He's got his right foot on the ground as the checkers fly for Dana Creech, who will be moving on.
Little hang loose there as he crossed that finish line jump.
And holding on to that spot, the number 4 of Brandon Schuler. He'll be our final transfer.
Pumped, look at him nodding his head, and we got the hang loose. He's excited to be in that main event.
Our Razer Power performance goes to Dana Creech once again in the LCQ.
Yeah, Dana, just a veteran, finding himself in these LCQs lately. Not where he wants to be, but he's definitely making his way to the main event.
Creech with the win, and with that comes an opportunity to talk to Lorette.
Well, the key to racing here at Terracross is keeping your Razer right side up. And Dana, you now have more track time than some of your other competitors. Are you worried about keeping it all together?
Yeah, just because my car is going to be a little hot when I go out, but my Polaris Razer's awesome. These guys got their stuff together. I just want to thank them for building such an awesome car. I couldn't have dreamed of this getting this awesome. You know, we started back in the day when the UTVs came out, and this is our dreams right here, what we got.
Plan for the main?
My plan for the main is to make it from the back row all the way up to the front again. I'm going to get farther onto the podium this time, hopefully, because I have nothing to lose. I'm not in the points. I got nothing. I just want to go play with the big boys.
Dana, best of luck.
Dana Creech from the back row to third. Last time you heard him mention getting further onto the podium. Here's someone who's been on the podium every time this year, Sarah Price in the 91. 5-0 on the season, Jim Beaver. A remarkable season thus far for the X Games medalist.
Yeah, Sarah's just been dominant this year, but Shelby Anderson there in second, getting faster and faster each and every round. I think she's got a little something for Sarah.
Price Anderson put on a show in race 5. Does race 6 have more of that in store?
And it looks like the Terracross veteran Danielle Weatherly sitting right-hand seat with Sarah Price for this final.
Let's learn more about the 5-0 Sarah Price.
Glamis is pretty much my other hometown. Like, I grew up here. It's a unique place, and people really don't understand it until you're in it and doing it, you know? Like, there's the hill, there's so much excitement constantly going on. You make it to the drags, you have a good time on your motorized vehicles or your dirt bikes, your side-by-sides or anything. And this is my roots, and it's so cool. We have our whole family here. We're just out having a good time and racing Terracross at the same time. I never thought that would be possible, but it's happening, and I'm really pumped on it, so. Well, I come from professional motocross, and I had a heck of a career in motocross. That is my true love, my passion, and so anytime I'm on a dirt bike, and now it's usually just for fun, I am just a happy girl. And yeah, there's nothing better that could ease the pressure off of taking the win in round 6 than going out on my dirt bike in some dunes. The dunes are amazing. There's nothing like it. It's almost magical. Like, I know that sounds lame, but it seriously is. There's no way of explaining it until you're in a car on a dirt bike, just hauling butt as fast as that thing will go around a bowl. There's nothing like it, and it's awesome. It really is. It's just one of a kind. Yeah, I'm on 5 times wins right now, and I'm hoping to finish out the rest of the 6. It'd be amazing to finish out the whole season with all wins, especially with my family and friends here supporting me and seeing it for themselves. Like, you know, and the guys from Terracross came up to me, he goes, no pressure, but it's never been done, and we think you might be able to do this. And so I'm like, oh gosh, let's do everything we can to make it happen. 6 times, let's do it.
The perfect season on the line. Women's final up next. Good look at the race course here at the 2015 Terracross Championships being held at Camp Razer in Glamis. What's Camp Razer? Let's find out a little bit more.
One of my favorite parts of Camp Razer is the community and meeting all the people from all the different areas around the country and around the globe.
Really, the genesis behind the whole thing is to give these guys an over-the-top experience here in this over-the-top riding area, and just to do that as a big thank you to all the people that call this sport their lifestyle.
We have demo rides, people love the demo rides, and the service area is probably the single best thing that we do here at Camp Razer. We have free service, so people who are having some problems with their machines, they can come on in and we take care of them, so we can make sure that they stay riding with their friends and family all weekend long.
I dare you to find another manufacturer doing what Polaris is doing for their people, Jim Beaver.
Yeah, Camp Razer, absolutely epic venue, giving back to the fans, the riders, the people who enjoy the Polaris Razer lifestyle.
Women's final, Sarah Price looking for the perfect season. Katie Vernola might have something to say about it out of Victorville, California. In the second row, Lucretia Burrier. And next to her, Shelby Anderson, who we saw in race 5 put on quite an amount of pressure in that second place spot as we look at our Optimist start list.
Yeah, you know, Shelby Anderson, good friends, almost best friends with Sarah Price, as they said, but Shelby would like nothing more than to take that perfect season away from Sarah Price.
Beating your enemies is fun, beating your friends is better. Here we go, women's final, last race of the year. Price up the inside and putting the hammer down on the outside is Vernola.
And look at Sarah already sneaking underneath, getting out front. And like we've said all season long, Sarah Price out front, definitely dangerous.
Let's go pro on board with Shelby Anderson. She's fighting with Vernola for that second place spot.
Look at the airtime Shelby Anderson is getting on the pipe, trying to chase down Sarah Price.
Shelby Anderson, cousin of R.J. Anderson, who you'll see in the men's final after this race. Oh, hooking it, a little sideways. Anderson recovers. Vernola looking up the inside. Oh, it's deep on the inside.
Oh man, this course is just, oh man, getting so deep, it's just sucking the power out of these Razers. Drivers looking for every bit of traction they can get. Normally out here at Glamis are running paddle tires. Terracross has a spec tire, and no paddle tires out here. Drivers have to accommodate and in this deep sand.
Price already with a little bit of a lead. Field starting to stretch out. 6 laps here for the women's final.
Is it just me, or those Walker Evans whoops getting deeper by the lap?
Airing it out right here. Those are the ones that are fun to watch. Right-hand turn and another lap complete for Price. 1 lap closer to the perfect season. Weatherly loving it.
Oh, Weatherly, she's along for the ride with Sarah Price. She's been running the Terracross Championship, missing Camp Razer round, but she's out here and, you know, riding in the right-hand seat with Sarah Price. And I got to tell you, that view's got to be pretty good.
Up and over the Mystic Mangler, first and second. Closing up, Shelby Anderson. We go on board. She's close. She's within striking distance here, trying to play giants to Sarah Price's Patriots here. Ruin the perfect season. Sarah Price continues to lead. Women's final concludes next. Welcome back to the 2015 Camp Razer Terracross Championships. In Glamis, California, women's final, the last race of the year here. Sarah Price and Shelby Anderson doing battle once again. Shelby Anderson in that Walker Evans ride really pushing the pace.
Yeah, that Optimus Razer is Sarah Price out front, but she just can't shake Shelby Anderson. Shelby all over her, and if you watch, it looks like Shelby taking a little bit different line in some of these corners, just trying to make up every split second she can on the undefeated Sarah Price.
4 times out of 5 races coming into this one, Shelby Anderson has gone second to Sarah Price. Can she push 1 spot ahead? I'm not sure that pedal goes any further to the floor.
No, coming into this Mystic Mangler, I mean, Sarah, she's sending it over these sand hills, just trying to get any kind of gap she can on Shelby, and it's just not happening.
Fox Proving Grounds here, big sweeping left, leading into the Walker Evans whoops. You have to be careful through here. We've seen a lot of upside down vehicles.
And it looks like Sarah, I mean, Shelby trying to force a mistake. Sarah hasn't had competition like this all year. Shelby just pushing her. You can tell Sarah is on the gas, just trying to shake her, and she's having a tough time with it.
Past the finish line, 75-foot downward double. Complete, now a left and up into a small jump before you hit the Mangler.
Yeah, you got to wonder with these lap times. I mean, Shelby and Sarah pulling almost identical lap times. Shelby would have been on the front row. Would have made it pretty interesting at this point.
Lap and a half to go. Will Price falter? Will Anderson get her first win? Or will it be Price in the perfect season?
You know, at this point, Sarah just trying to keep it clean. Any little mistake, Shelby is so close. She'll be all over it and make the pass.
Right-hand turn, white flag will wave. Optimus starters, IMG, Razer 1000, Sarah Price. Ahead of the Walker Evans, Razer 1000 of Shelby Anderson. Last lap, Anderson has to push it here. Go for broke?
Oh, Shelby definitely going for broke at this point. I think you're going to see one of the quickest lap times of the weekend from Shelby Anderson. Sarah at this point, she's grabbing that steering wheel going, come on, just hang on, hang on, hang on, you know?
Fox Proving Grounds and a half a lap away from Terracross history.
Here comes Shelby taking a wider line than Sarah Price. Is she going to try and make it happen? Oh, right here, going through the Walker Evans whoop. She's all over.
A little outside inside. Not quite there.
Oh!
2 wheels is Price.
Price almost lost it in that corner. Great save by Sarah. Shelby making a race out of this. Look at that air time.
Shelby hugging it, coming up the inside. Not enough. The perfect season preserved.
Wow.
Price with the win.
Wow, talk about an amazing race. You got to give credit to Sarah Price for the perfect season, but Shelby Anderson, she did not make it easy on Sarah Price.
Best friends having a blast out in the desert. That's what it's all about.
I did it!
Get your friends and get out and have some fun. A race recap. Inside was working off the start all weekend for Sarah Price.
Yeah, Sarah, she found her line stuck to him and makes Terracross history here at Camp Razer at Glamis.
6 races, 6 victories for one Sarah Price. And 6 Polaris winners interviews. Here is number 6 with Laurette.
Well, Sarah, you jumped out of your Razer and you said, I can't believe it. You have gone undefeated. You are the champion. What have you learned this year that you're going to apply for 2016?
I don't know. Honestly, I just did the best I could and rode the cleanest, smoothest races, and it happened. And I am just so pumped. I kept myself composed, and Shelby was on me. Like, Shelby was giving me some heat, so I really had to focus and, stay on top of my game, because if I made a mistake, she had me.
And this is obviously really emotional for you. Take us through why.
Well, Shelby's one of my really good friends, and it's super cool. I had Danielle Weatherly, who broke her car in the early season, so it's really cool to have our competitors. We're so close, and there's nothing more I like than sharing the track with those girls, so it's super cool, and I am so excited. I can't believe that I just won everything, and wow, I've been kind of on pins and needles, so it's exciting, and I'm gonna be able to relax tonight.
What a relief. Congratulations, 2015 Women's Terracross champion, Sarah Price.
Jim, anyone who's done any kind of racing knows the high you get from duking it out with your friends, and the high gets even better when you win.
Yeah, and Sarah, like she said, pins and needles all weekend long, but walks away with a win, an undefeated season, and a championship.
Final point standing, Sarah Price, 179. Shelby Anderson in second. Katie Vernola in third. Where's Waldo?
I spot him.
Where's Luberg is what RJ Anderson's been asking himself all season long. Let's hear from the top 2 racers.
Well, RJ's, closest to me, 13 points right now, separating us. So, he's the close one. He's the one I got to worry about.
I just got to try to keep it together and have a good battle out there with Jason. It'll be a fun time for sure. So it's going to come down in this last race.
Starting in the second row for this one, hopefully just capitalize on other people's mistakes and just keep the pace, and it should be good. As long as I don't break, I should be fine.
Yeah, so I got 2 plans. My first plan is I'm going to take Jason out. I mean, if you're going to beat him, you just take him out, obviously. And my second plan is there's a big jump out there, and I think I just got to try it out. We start right next to each other. It's going to be a battle for sure.
Jason Luberg, keep your head on a swivel. RJ Anderson's coming for you. Men's final up next. Polaris making it a weekend like no other for the 2015 Terracross Championships final race at Camp Razer out in Glamis. A legendary sight, and our men's field all set.
Well, we all know what's on the line, and RJ Anderson has been chasing Jason Luberg all season long. Jason, have you done the math to know where you and RJ have to finish in order for you to get the championship?
Yeah, for the most part, as long as I can keep track of where everybody's at, but I know where I need to finish as long as I can tell what's going on.
Well, what's the strategy out here?
Just keep my pace, stay the course.
Best of luck.
Thank you.
Jason Luberg will be on the second row along with Doug Mittag, and right next to him in the middle will be RJ Anderson. So that's row 2. They have some work to do. 3 other racers up front.
Mitch Guthrie Jr. there on the outside, row number 1. King of the Hammers champ. In the middle, we got Mike Gardner, been super quick all year long. And then sitting on the pole position, Brandon Sims, your 2015 UTV World Champion. Looks like he is amped up and ready to go.
A look at our Optimus starting grid. Covered the first 2 rows for you. Don't forget about Katu and Rath in row 3. They'll also be joined by Raiders, who ran up front in race number 5.
15 Polaris Razer XP1000s ready to unleash on this Terracross track.
Fox proving grounds to the Walker Evans whoops. First 2 sections, big left-hand turn. 3 lines available. We've seen guys go high, we've seen them go low. Sims on the pole. The 2015 season about to come to a close. 12 laps to go.
Rolled over in the first corner.
On board with Anderson, who's stuck.
Oh, and hit from behind. Carnage to start this championship.
Sims and Guthrie Jr. up front. Mitch Guthrie Jr. trying the outside line. He's going to need a little momentum. Luberg in 4th. Look at Mitch Guthrie carry the outside. GoPro on board, Jason Luberg in 4th place. Gonna make the right-hander. This is headed towards the finish line. Luberg doesn't need to win. He just needs to maintain points. RJ Anderson a ways back. That's good for Luberg.
I look like Cody Rader's a little bit of a suspension issue. The tire kind of kicked in there. He must have got into somebody.
Wheel-to-wheel racing, a look back at our start. Tipping over, that was Gardner right in the middle of the front row.
Man, and RJ Anderson, bad luck. Just starting behind him, nothing you can do there, and you know, it's definitely got to hurt his championship hopes.
As they say, that's racing. Mitch Guthrie Jr. up front. He has company. A field of 3, Brandon Sims back in there, along with the 31 of Mittag, trailed by Luberg.
And look at Dana Creech from the back, already making his presence known, picking off drivers left and right. I got to tell you, a Dana Creech with nothing to lose is a scary Dana Creech.
Side by side, Guthrie Jr. inside of Sims. Sims trying to go inside in the next turn, no! Sims held off for the moment. Luberg in 4th. Pressure from Cole Katu, who finished 2nd back in Del Mar at the beginning of the year.
And look at that dust and those lights, blinding as these drivers fight their way into the Walker Evans whoops.
Guthrie Jr. pedal to the metal. Look back in the field. There is RJ Anderson as we go on board with the number 37. Anderson sitting, shown in 10th.
Definitely not where RJ Anderson needs to be with his championship on the line. He needs to make it to Luberg, pass Luberg, and make up as many positions on Luberg as he can.
Mitch Guthrie Jr. continues to lead. Looking up the inside is Katu. Not there yet. Lap 4 of a scheduled 12 as the field heads over the Mystic Mangler. We look inside with Jason Luberg. It's rain and sand in the desert for the number 1. Luberg looking to repeat. The 2015 Terracross Championship rolls on. More men's final in a moment. Welcome back to Glamis. Camp Razer playing host to the final event of the 2015 Terracross Championship. Mitch Guthrie Jr. out front.
Mitch Guthrie, he knows how to win in Terracross. No wins yet this season. Does have some in 2014. Out front, looking strong in that UTV Underground Razer.
GoPro on board with Jason Luberg, still hunting around just outside the top 3.
Yeah, and look at him work that steering wheel. You know, earlier on in the weekend we saw him and he was moving so effortlessly in the car. Now it seems like it's a struggle for him just to get that Razer around the track. It shows these conditions are literally deteriorating in front of our eyes.
R.J. Anderson buried mid-pack. Not a place he's accustomed to being. Anderson, one of the fastest drivers in the field. How does the approach change when you're mid to back of the pack versus being in the front?
I think at this point in time, R.J. Anderson, the approach doesn't change. He's still hammered down. It's all about the points. He knows he has to get in front of Luberg. At this point in the game, the season is almost over. He's got nothing left to lose. It's hammer down.
On board now, giving you an idea what these drivers are facing as far as conditions go. The sand flying under the lights. That is a tough drive right there.
Yeah, driving into the lights as you go around these corners. Sometimes you get glimpses of light, you go blind, and then you turn and it gets clear. Definitely wreaking havoc on these guys' vision.
Man, I don't want to go blind going over the Mystic Mangler in there. No way. Luberg getting past now up the inside. Here comes Hill. And Luberg with an issue.
Yeah, we go to the GoPro onboard at Jason Luberg. Not typical Luberg, pulling off to the side, letting cars go by.
Luberg going backwards.
Wow, and RJ, look at the dirt flying into his screen. He's lifting the visor, trying to pull tear-offs that aren't there. Wow.
Keep the visor down, RJ Anderson. And keep the hammer down as well. Anderson trying to move forward. You know he has to be excited to see the one drop back. Mitch Guthrie Jr. in the meantime up front. Crosses for another lap.
So smooth out front for Mitch Guthrie Jr. We're about halfway through, and he's got to be tasting that victory, trying to get that UTV Underground Polaris Razer to the finish line, and nobody even in sight of Mitch Guthrie Jr.
Heading out into the Fox Proving Grounds. Big left-hand turn. Bouncing through the lines goes Guthrie Jr. Now into the Walker Evans whoops. We've seen a lot of trouble here. We drop back in the field and look at Cole Katsu, who's having his best run in some time.
Yeah, Cole Katsu, lightning quick all year long. He's just had some trouble, and bad luck is the name of the game for Cole Katsu.
Luberg having some bad luck right now, trying to hang on and finish the race. Guthrie Jr. all alone, right-hand turn, another lap in the books.
Look at that huge step down, and Guthrie's so silky smooth. You see those guys driving through there in packs, and they're banging off each other, and so much easier to drive when you're all alone out front like Mitch Guthrie.
Mitch Guthrie Jr., UTV Underground Walker Evans sponsored racer. Continues to just be smooth and fast. Well, I like that upper line through the Fox Proving Grounds.
You know, and it's cool to see how this has changed throughout this race. They started out and the inside lane was the fastest. Now as the race matures, drivers pushing themselves to the outside line, and it's all of a sudden become quicker.
Jason Luberg having some problems. Can he nurse it to the finish line and be champ once again?
Mystic Terracross on CBS Sports Network is being brought to you by Mystic Lubricants, specially formulated for lubrication domination. And by Polaris Razer.
The fans packing into Camp Razer here in Glamis. The 2015 Terracross Championships concluding with race 6. As R.J. Anderson tries to move forward, tries to gain points on an ailing Jason Luberg. Anderson's car looking in top shape.
Yeah, Jason Luberg almost got to feel like a sitting duck at this point. Obviously, he's working with some mechanical issues, just trying to get it around, and R.J. Anderson continuing to push, gaining those precious points.
Mitch Guthrie Jr. up front. There is Luberg. He's fallen back in the field substantially, getting past, but still on track.
Looks like these ruts getting deeper. A lot of drivers checking up for some of the jumps that they weren't checking up for earlier on in this race.
Luberg's dropped so far back that now Mitch Guthrie Jr. is coming around to lap him. You get a look at the ruts there and how deep they are. Here's Guthrie Jr. in the 23, driving up inside.
R.J. Anderson cutting off Brandon Schuler, picking up another position. He is on the hunt for Jason Luberg's title. Only a couple laps left. R.J. in the hunt. Oh, and just as we say that, it could be game over for R.J. Anderson.
Anderson is finished. He was pushing off that bad start. He's out. Jason Luberg now set up. All he has to do is finish the race.
Man, we have had so many championship points changes in this one final main event of the season. I don't think you could write this script any better.
Mitch Guthrie Jr., he doesn't think this script could be written any better for this last race. He's up front. White flag has flown. Mitch Guthrie Jr. 1 lap away. Limping home is the number 1 of Jason Luberg, doing everything just to finish the race.
Well, we know at this point Jason Luberg's got some kind of mechanical issue with that Polaris Razer, and this is how you win championships. You get it to the finish line. Mr. Consistent Jason Luberg, he's about half a lap away from retaining that red number 1 plate heading into 2016.
Mitch Guthrie Jr., 1 last, big left through the Fox Proving Grounds. The Walker Evans whoops. Guthrie Jr. doing a nice job there, left hand, and he's almost home.
This has got to feel good for Mitch Guthrie Jr. Had some troubles this year. If it wasn't for bad luck, he'd have no luck at all. That all changing here in the finale at Camp Razer.
Last turn of the last race of 2015, the 23 of Mitch Guthrie Jr. Go ahead and take those checkers.
There is an amped Mitch Guthrie Jr. there. Man, let me tell you. And Cole Coutu coming out of nowhere, taking home second.
And then Brandon Schuler, look at this. Schuler in the 4X completes the weekend on the podium.
Complete rookie heading into Terracross and takes a podium in what is one of the wildest races I've ever seen.
We didn't know coming into Glamis what would be in store with this track and these races. We've gotten some fantastic racing on both the women's and the men's side. Here comes Luberg. Couple more turns of the key, and he's done. Championship time. It wasn't a great final race, but it was a tremendous season for the number 1.
Oh, and he can't even make it up on the final hill there. It looks like he had some problems, but Luberg pulling in, and he doesn't care what position he finished in. He's retaining that red number 1 plate. He is the champion, man, and well-deserved.
Consistency again pays off for Jason Luberg, and just downright stick-to-itiveness in the last race. There's R.J. Anderson coming over, still a smile on the kid's face.
Yeah, R.J. always all smiles, man, and talk about an awesome, awesome race.
Race recap. This was a pivotal moment right in the middle. Mike Gardner, championship implications.
Yeah, always tough when the front row makes a mistake, caused a bottleneck behind him, and collected R.J. Anderson. Tough break for R.J.
Anderson would get free and push forward, but sometimes you push a little too hard. The right front can't take that much force. That would be the end of Anderson's night and the beginning of the celebration for Jason Luberg. Yeah, Anderson knew it right away. Pull off to the right. The day is done. Our general insurance final results have Mitch Guthrie Jr. in first. Cole Coutu comes home in second, as he did in race number 1, and Brandon Schuler, the rookie, pulling up 3rd place. Let's go now to our Polaris winners interview with Laurette.
Well, Mitch Guthrie Jr. just told me it has been a rough season. And Mitch, talk about the focus that it took for this win out here today.
Yeah, it was tough, but I'm super stoked to be up here, and it's awesome being out here in front of all the Camp Razer fans, and I couldn't ask for a better venue to get a win, you know.
All right, now you take this win. How do you take this confidence into 2016?
Oh, it's going to be huge. We had a super rough year. We had the speed, but unfortunately, just things weren't working out for us. So I'm super happy to be up here in the last race, and it definitely should carry on to 2016.
Congratulations.
Thank you, and I just want to thank Joey D and UTV Underground for getting me out here, everyone that supports me, Super ATV, Odyssey Batteries, Polaris Razer, of course, and all the fans. Thank you.
Spectacular end of the season for the fans and for Jason Luberg, champion once again as he fights it to the end. It wasn't easy, but 175 gets it done.
Oh, spectacular it was. Jason Luberg, RJ Anderson battling back and forth. That points title changing hands multiple times in that final. But talk about an epic race.
Mickey Thomas went 4th last year. He goes 3rd this year in the overall. Let's hear from our champ, Jason Luberg. He's with Lorette Nickel.
The championship came down to the final round, and Jason Luberg really had to fight for it. Jason, can you talk about the pressures trying to defend your championship?
Yeah, it's been pressure all year. We've been really close all year. The points have been, really close. I've been leading it all the whole time, but it's been close. And then, I had a radiator problem and going into limp mode, trying to, hit the key every few seconds, try just to make it around. And because of everybody else's misfortunes, everything, it just worked out.
And is this exactly what you envisioned?
Oh yeah, I'm so excited, so excited. This is not the way I thought the last race was going to go. Everybody just all over the place, but it worked out. It was cool.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you.
Guys.
Consistency the key for Jason Luberg as he is back-to-back Terracross champion. Will he repeat? You'll have to find out next year. For my partners, Lorette Nickel and Jim Beaver, I'm Kevin Barnett. This has been a presentation of CBS Sports Network, the 24-hour home of CBS Sports. Congrats to the champs, Luberg and Price.